We are Gathering of the Geeks, podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out episode 7, the one with choices. I am one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm happy the week is over. It's been a long one.
I was going to bring that up. We usually talk almost every day on our a Twitter DM, and I kind of didn't respond to you for 2 days, and you were wondering where I was, and you said you had a busy week, and yeah. So it's been one of those weeks. I don't know if it's just because it's like the February blahs. Winter up here is seemingly never going to end. It's busy time at work, busy time with family stuff, and sometimes the weeks just don't end, and sometimes they go by so quick you don't know where the week went. Yeah,
this is definitely the former. Because this was the former. It was quite a week, but it's over.
Well, I'm happy. Exactly. Beginning of a new week, and it's we're back at it again with another show. We're going to do something a little bit different this week because Chris and I are more or less just lazy. We're going to get some people that help us out. So I wanted to say hi to everybody in the chats already so far. Ian, Cookie, Eric, Grabs, Lauren, and DC Patrol up at the top I saw there as well. So we're going to do most of our regular stuff. The first segment is always our what we read, what we watched this week. Then we're going to get into our poll stuff. And then we usually get into a main topic. And this week we don't have a main topic. So we're going to need some help from the people in the chats. So the people. Yeah, that's right. If you saw
back to you.
If you saw our tweet on our account this week, you would have saw a nice little Bane gif that we're giving it back to you, the people. So how it's going to work, guys, is I guess I'll write them down, or Chris, you can write them down.
I have a pen.
Okay, he's got a pen. Do you have your piece of paper as well, sir?
No, I have no paper.
Okay, so I'll write them down just in my little doc here.
I got paper. Hold on.
So for the people who are watching right now,
I'll back to this.
Okay, right. Oh, don't massacre your belief sign. Don't do it.
Another one. I did save it.
Okay.
I can make copies.
Yeah. So for the people who are watching right now, and maybe I'll mention it again if we get some people who jump on later in the show, but we need some help with the topic for the end of the show, guys. So each person, if you could, give us one idea for a main topic. Throughout the show, I'm going to take those topics and I'm going to put them into a randomizer, and it's going to be our topic for the end of the show. We're going to see how that works out. We're going to see what they give us. I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not. But guys, if you could help us out, Eric, Grabs, Lauren, Cookie, give us one main topic. Yes, Ian, one main topic that you would like Chris and I to discuss, and we will do that at the last segment of the show.
I'm not against complaining about Dark Knight Rises.
That's right. I think Chris was a little leading with his tweet that he sent out for on the account, but that's all right. So let us know, guys, in the chats what you want our main topic to be, and we will talk about it at the end of the show. Ian, only you, my man, only you.
Starting it off. As I say, we should have. It just hit me. We should have titled this one "The One Where We Were Lazy."
The one where we were lazy, right?
Next week, the one where
I guarantee you, Chris, there's going to be another opportunity.
I'm sure there will be. There usually is.
Yeah. So before we get to the topic and the polls, Chris, what did you get up to this week in this week that never ended? Did you watch anything? Did you read anything?
I actually watched and read quite a few. Well, reading I finally caught up on today. I got to read Rain number 2, which I was actually really excited for that one beforehand because I was really impressed by the first one, the first issue. Mm-hmm. So going to this one, I was pretty excited. And then I did enjoy the issue, but that last page, I don't want to spoil it. But when I saw that, I was like, no. Just this sense of dread took over when you see that last little thing. Like, oh, damn it. But that was pretty good. I like that. I read Angel number 2, which is the new comic from Boom Studios. It's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
is very interesting. So it takes place in an alternate universe of Buffy. So it's not the continuity from the series. It's different. In this,
the comic series or the
show,
the TV. Okay, the show.
TV show. Gotcha. Yeah. So you have an alternate version of Angel and the whole gang. Mm-hmm. And so in this particular story, it takes place in a universe where Angel is. Well, okay. Are you familiar at all with Buffy lore?
For sure. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I don't know if everybody else in the chat is, but just hang on for a second. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Yeah.
So Cordelia is a big character in the show, and so in the comic, she is a television star, and she ropes Angel into that, and they have like a cop drama that they do together.
All right.
And Angel is also still Angel, so he's still a vampire, and he's still doing like the investigations and fighting demons and whatnot. Mm. But that's another part of it. And it has like the majority of the characters you saw in the series or in this book, but like different. So that's pretty cool. I am all for it.
And you were reading I don't know if it was a relaunch or that new Buffy series too, right?
It's just another spinoff. Yeah, Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer.
And you didn't like that?
No, I gave it 2 issues, and it just is not for me. The art is inconsistent. I don't like the story very much. I think the characterizations are off. It doesn't feel like Buffy to me. But I know a lot of people are liking it, and I'm glad they are. It's one of those situations where I wish I was with you guys. I would love to be, but glad you guys like it.
Are they trying to do something different? Are they trying to attract new readers? Like what are they trying to do here with this with the new Buffy series? With
the Last Vampire Slayer, I think they're just trying to do something new, which I'm all for. Go ahead and try it. I mean, if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As long as you get one person who likes it, cool. That's kind of the way I look at it. But I think it's just to try something different, because also with anything, when you jump onto any comic, whether it's something that's established or something brand new, you need an in. You need something where you can grasp and say, okay, I get this. And that's kind of what this new book is doing for people. Because there's people who've never seen the show, which, I mean, I think late 90s, early 2000s, I ate, slept, and breathed this show. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I still do. But there's people who haven't. So for them, it's a whole new experience and a new look into this world. And because it is an alternate universe, you could do some interesting stuff with it.
Oh, well, that's why I don't know. I don't think I was excited to read it, but I was excited that there was just something new for Buffy that looked like it was kind of a cool thing. I've never been into the comics that came before that. I'm a big fan of the original movie. And a fan of the TV show as well, but never really got into the comics. And I think I was going to let you read the Buffy series, and you were going to be my barometer whether or not to read it myself. And then once you started to read it and let me know about it, like that was pretty much it. I didn't need to take the chance and spend the money on the book. So,
well, there's 3 other people I know who have read it. Lauren is one of them, and then I have 2 other friends on Twitter who've read it. So 2 of the 3 like it. So if you count 4 of us, it's 50-50.
Yeah. So are they doing any more? Like you mentioned, the Angel.
There's a lot of Buffy books from Boom. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff. They have a big world, sure. It is. They have like a mainline book, the Angel spinoff, the Buffy spinoff. I believe they're doing some kind of like greatest hits book too. I'm not really positive. I just like seeing the resurgence of Buffy stuff. So I'm in.
That's what I was thinking too. I wonder. I don't know if it's like time for a relaunch of the show. Is it time for a new movie? What do you think the live action or TV or movie avenue should be for Buffy going forward?
CW was trying to relaunch it a few years ago, and it didn't really sound good.
Okay.
I'm open to a relaunch, so I don't mind. I think it's a cool storyline. You could do a lot of stuff with still if you just want to relaunch it, reboot it, remake, whatever you want to do. I think there's a lot to mine there, and you could even like make it smaller, make it bigger. It's a lot. There's a lot of options because like the movie was smaller, it was more contained because you didn't see the world. Yeah. But in the series, it lasts. I think it was 7 seasons. I can't remember. Plus Angels 3, I want to say maybe 4, and the lore is pretty extensive. not just the characters, but the world around them, because you have what's called the Watchers Council, who watches all the Slayers, and it's been there since the dawn of time, basically. And you could do different Slayers, you could do different groups, you could do a story with the witches, a story with the vampires, just random demons, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea, and like you said, the lore and the world that can go around it. Like I'm thinking about like Something Is Killing the Children, and how expansive that world is becoming with the fight for monsters, and the type of creatures, vampires, monsters that Buffy can fight. The expansion of the world can be really large, and I think maybe that's why that Angel one is working, just because it's more of the expansion of the world.
It's the expansion also has more of a familiar feeling to me. Like Lauren said in the comments, she feels that Last Vampire Slayer is like the show, which is, I didn't get that from it, but that's okay. That's what a lot of people, I've seen people that do feel that way. But like, not that I personally know, but reviewers and stuff do feel that way.
Nice. Well, so that's some comic book reading. Do you get any watching in this week? We'll talk about Peacemaker after I talk about my little bit of reading and stuff. But did you watch anything else this week?
I did. I caught Scream, and I watched Uncharted.
Oh my God, did you?
Yeah, and then I watched most of I've been wanting to rewatch Doctor Strange because it's the one MCU movie I don't really like. So I rewatched most of it. I have 30 minutes left that I'll finish.
And how is Uncharted? How was Uncharted?
It's a movie.
Yeah? Is it like, did you dislike it wholeheartedly? Was there anything that you liked?
No, I wouldn't say like it's a total loss for me. I enjoyed some parts of it. I do like Tom Holland. I think he's fun. Marky Mark has never been my favorite.
Yeah.
Nothing against the actor or the guy. He's fine. But he's just not someone I say, oh, Mark Wahlberg's in it? I got to see that.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's got some decent stuff in there. I like the cat. Well, most of the cast. They did some stuff that's like the game, which I thought was cool. Some of it's really heavy-handed, like, hey, this is a video game movie. Remember this, guys?
Right.
The villain stuff is like all over the place, the antagonist. But yeah, it's not too bad. Like if they made a sequel, I'm in. Do I ever want to watch this one again? No.
It's pretty divisive online. I'm seeing, and even the reviews, like it's doing pretty good box office wise.
It is, I'm happy for that. I think it made 55 million, which is great.
I think it's a friend that I saw, Nico, said online, like that pretty much cements Tom Holland as a movie star, as a big box office kind of guy. Do you think that's the case? Maybe.
I mean, he's a likable kid. I say kid, but I think he's like 25 years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit younger, but he's likable. That's kind of the thing with him. You see him, he's like, oh, he looks friendly, and he's usually fun in a movie. And in this, I had to put like my video game bias aside because Uncharted is one of my favorite games. I think it's actually my favorite franchise.
That's what I was going to go to next. Video game franchises are, a hot thing about whether or not they can make them a good movie out of a video game franchise. We saw Mortal Kombat recently, and there was a big talk. The Rock says he's going to be in a future video game series. So
it's got to be God of War.
Yeah, that would be so sweet if it was.
It's got to be God of War.
So if you put the Uncharted all the way down to a video game movie and a regular movie, is there a separation, or does it feel like a video game movie?
No, it doesn't feel like a video game movie. It feels like just generic action movie number one with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland.
Okay.
Like that's best way I can explain it. There's nothing that really stands out as special about it. It really just feels like, oh, okay, it's another action movie. Realistically, the game is Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider put together, which truly isn't the most original thing anyway. So I can't poke at the movie like that.
Right.
I can't say you guys weren't original enough. It's not original to begin with. It is what it is. Yeah. But video game stuff aside, it's just an action movie that doesn't even have a lot of action.
Really?
More not action. Well, it's like goofy action.
Okay.
Like fun kind of stuff. And I think you played the games, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So Nathan Drake's not afraid to put a bullet in somebody's head.
Yeah, he's always falling face first into a world full of trouble. So
right, he's got holster. He constantly wears gun holsters.
That's
well,
right.
In this, I don't think Tom Holland fired a gun.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and it was mostly that kind of funny action, like the Get Smart movie is what I was thinking of.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, it's kind of like that sort of stuff, but
that's interesting. No gunplay, that's
very little.
Aside from the the traversal and parkour of
a lot of that
of the games. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, they did get that aspect, which is funny because in the first game it was mostly traversal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The combat was not fun really in the first game. It was the traversal stuff that reeled you in, so it's kind of funny the way that works.
Nice.
Also, Zeddy made quite an entrance just now. I can't talk.
Yeah, Zeddy, we're going to be getting to our Peacemaker talk in just a little bit. Before we do that, guys, I like that you watched Scream 2. I mentioned, I think it was a couple weeks ago that I wanted to get to go to see it, but I didn't get a chance to. So I won't be able to see that until it's out in digital, because the next movie I'll be seeing in theaters is The Batman.
What's that?
It's an indie film, just a small little indie film.
Is that the one about the billionaire that doesn't spend his money helping people?
Yeah, that's right. He just ruins. He just beats up people with disabilities.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, he's not very good. In saying all that, I've muted the Batman. I've muted the Batman movie now because Zeddy actually had a tweet today, said he was doing a kind of a Batman rewatch, and he put the hashtag the Batman movie, which is one that I didn't mute. So I actually saw that tweet, so I wanted to make sure I muted that one. Just in case.
Well, the new trailer is coming tonight, apparently.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I had no idea about that because I haven't been seeing any Batman things. So my timeline is very seance Batman right now. It's a little strange, but it's we only got 2 more weeks to get there. So I'm trying real hard to do it.
I'm trying to. Have you watched that show that Grabs is talking about, The Marvelous Miss Maisel?
I haven't watched it. I put a comment in the comments there. My wife loves that show.
Oh, okay.
And she was excited for the new season. I think it's season 4, maybe season 3. I can't really remember. She got my mother to watch it as well. Yeah, she's super excited for the show. I think it's on Amazon Prime here. I don't know if that's the same for you guys down there, but yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna start that tonight after I watch Euphoria.
Oh, that's 2 more episodes of Euphoria. My wife.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need a new show to fill in the. Euphoria though is. I didn't expect to get as into it as I am right now. Like I'm all in on the memes and everything too. I'm there.
Nice.
I'm still Team Maddie on this, but we'll see. But anyway.
Yeah, that's I just know that people are excited about it, and that makes me happy that the show is apparently so good, and it's not kind of the nerdy, geeky, pop culture-y type of thing. It just sounds like it's a good ass damn show.
It is.
So I'm excited for that. What I read this week, I think it was probably about 3 weeks without reading an older comic. I was pretty much staying along with just reading new releases. Like you, I read Rain, and Saga a couple weeks ago, and I kind of was off of my backlog of comic books. And one that I started to read this week was Outcast by Robert Kirkman. It's a pretty long series, 48 issues. There was also a TV show with the kid from Almost Famous in it. We talked about it. Maybe you and I talked about it maybe off air last week. Or I can't remember if maybe we talked about it on the show. I can't even remember now.
Yeah, it was on the show, Rob, but we talked about it.
I can't remember. Anyways, it's 48 issues, and I'm about 3/4 of the way done. It's a really, really good series, and I'm kind of upset that I missed it. Issue 48, the final issue, I think came out maybe just a couple of months ago. I'm kind of sad that I didn't keep up on it. But it's a very good comic book to binge. I've been reading the volumes, and it's one of those volumes, if you're reading the volumes, where it doesn't break between issues. So you don't know when one issue ends and the next one starts up again. So it feels like you can just read a whole entire, collected issue, which is like 6 issues in, 10 or 15, 20 minutes. And all of a sudden you're done with it. But Outcast is a really, really good book. It's about demons, God, the devil, the battle between good and evil.
My favorite stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. And it made me sad also that I watched the first season, and then I didn't get around to watching the second season. I think it was canceled after the second season, for who knows why. Maybe it wasn't enough interest. I don't really know. But it makes me sad that I didn't keep up watching that as well. So I'm going to have to go back and watch season 2 of Outcast just to get, find out where they left off, see what more of the differences were between the comic and the TV show, because I like doing that too. Trying to find differences between media, like you were just saying about Uncharted, how it's different between the video game and the movie because of a lack of gunplay or whatever like that. So I'm interested to go back and see what happens with that. I've only got I think I'm on the 6th volume right now, and I think there's 7, maybe 8 volumes of the series Outcast. So I'm almost done. I usually don't like a lot of Robert Kirkman stuff either.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the biggest. Though. He's incredibly popular. He's got the most popular comic book series of all time in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The most popular TV show of all time in The Walking Dead. Invincible came out this past year.
I forget that's his.
Yeah, exactly. Over 100 issues of that series. He's one of the co-founding members of Image Comics. Really, really good idea man. I don't think he's the best dialogue guy, and that was my biggest issue with The Walking Dead. I found the dialogue in The Walking Dead just awful. But I love his ideas. And it's the same in the Outcast too. I find there's a couple little cringe-worthy moments in dialogue where it feels kind of wooden. Mm-hmm. It feels like if you're watching like a B movie, not the B movie, but a B movie.
I like the B movie.
I know. I love the B movie too. But you're thinking about a really bad actor who you've never heard before. It's his very first movie. Him reading a line of dialogue. It's like he's reading it off a piece of paper, and then this person does this, and that's how I read some of his dialogue in his comics.
That's a fun way to look at it.
Yeah, it just feels like there's no rhythm, there's no flow to his dialogue. But the art is really, really good. I can't pronounce the gentleman's last name. It's Paul Azaceta, I think. It's really, really fun art, really, really good. It's a good horror comic, which I'm always down for. Love horror comics and Outcast. I don't know. Robert Kirkman's not one of my favorites. I don't know if you've read anything from him.
No, I've actually only seen the shows.
Yeah.
I like some of The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. I thought Invincible was amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing is a lot of people, he's more popular now because of The Walking Dead TV show and probably the Invincible TV show than he ever was for all his comic books, even though The Walking Dead went on for so long and Invincible went on for so long in just, in trades and in single issue form.
Well, even, when you talk about The Walking Dead, I don't know if the comic is as large, but the show has, I think, 3 spinoffs right now. There's Fear the Walking Dead. There's some kind of future one, I believe. And is
there one called Beyond?
I think that's the future one. And I thought there was another one. Maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's a huge world right now.
Yeah, biggest. I remember, I think we talked about, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, how Game of Thrones was like the water cooler TV show. The Walking Dead used to be that.
Used to be. I think it still is in a way because a lot of people still watch it.
Yeah, and Ian says right here, it's on season 11. That's far too many seasons of the show.
I think it's far too many seasons for any show.
That's the other thing.
Law and Order. Law and Order,
coming back. Are you watching it this week?
No.
Oh.
I'm just aware of it. Like I watched a lot of it, but I'm just aware that it's there.
I have a friend who lives and breathes Law and Order. He's so excited that it's coming back this week.
That's one of those shows where when they would, this was a while ago, they would have those 8-hour marathons or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'd sit there the entire 8 hours and just consume. Who needed Netflix? I had Law and Order SVU. I don't need it.
That's right.
Where is Benson and Stabler?
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to be watching. I watched enough as it is, and I'm thinking of adding that new show to my list.
That's the other thing. So that's what I read this week. One of the things I watched this week, and it was after our Super Bowl show where we, or that day, or I think the day before, they released the Jurassic Park Dominion trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go back and rewatch all of the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, okay. How was that? Like all of them up to Fallen Kingdom?
I watched, the first, I watched 1, 2, 3, and then I watched Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom.
That is a wonderful way to spend a few hours. Or
That's what I mean.
Actually.
Yeah, a couple. It was just glorious, and I realized after watching the first one, that it's probably one of the movies that I've watched the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel like I know the dialogue. I know every story beat that's coming up. I sit there and I say the dialogue as it's happening, and I love those movies so much, and I don't care how stupid they are. It's like how people feel about the Fast and the Furious movies. I think they understand that at a certain point they're ridiculous and out of this world and over the top, but it's just so damn good. More of the later ones, I would say.
Well, I was gonna say though. I mean, there's like I don't care. I know they created dinosaurs from a mosquito. I get it.
Exactly.
That's still not as nuts as what they do in the Fast and the Furious. I'm sorry, and I like those movies. Like It's weird when I say this, and this is really how I feel. Them going to the moon in the last one was not the weirdest thing. I mean, them going to space, not the moon. Them in space, it just wasn't the weirdest thing in that movie. And that's it's weird. So yeah, Jurassic Park.
That is weird.
I have no problem with the logic of Jurassic Park. I really don't. Mm-hmm. And I just love those movies. Like the first one is like that's one. I think I've seen that one more times than I can count. It's also one of those movies. If I ever see it on TV, if it has commercials or whatever, I'm still going to sit there and watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was so funny. I tweeted this out, and Ian kind of gave me a little shot. But there's so much mumbling in the first Jurassic Park movie. Okay. People don't look at the camera and talk. They don't look at the characters and talk. And there's a specific scene that I was thinking about. It's when they go to the raptor paddock at the very start when the guy's feeding the cow, and Alan Grant's talking to Robert Muldoon in a separate conversation as Hammond and Ellie are having a conversation. Two conversations happening at the exact same time, and you can both hear them at the same levels of sound. And you can't hear them, but you can hear them if you focus on one of the conversations.
I never pay attention to that.
Yeah, and then there's another scene. It's a scene where what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson's going to turn on the system at the breakers, and he doesn't come back. And Ellie's coming down the stairs, and she's just mumbling to herself that he should have been back by now. We have to go after him. And it's like in any movie, people talk clearly so you can understand absolutely what they're going to say. But in real life, when things are stressful, when there's multiple people in a room, people overtalk, people mumble, they misstep. And, one of the great stories of Steven Spielberg, his whole life, is Schindler's List and Jurassic Park came out in the same year. He was finishing Schindler's List, one of the most sad, greatest movies of all time.
Would have been better with the Raptor.
Yeah, sure. Instead of Ben Kingsley, it's a Velociraptor.
Cool.
Anyway, so he's finishing Schindler's List, but he's not done. But he's supposed to start Jurassic Park. So he asked George Lucas to start filming Jurassic Park for him. So the opening scene when the raptor is going into the holding cell or whatever with shoot her, all that kind of stuff. That's directed by George Lucas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
He couldn't get out. Spielberg couldn't get out of Schindler's List, so he asked George to start filming Jurassic Park.
I'm glad that's all he did.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't need convoluted storylines there.
Yeah. So it's been a big, pretty heavy Jurassic Park week for me. Me, my son, my wife bought almost every single Lego game you can possibly have for the video game. So we were playing the Jurassic Park one, and I was watching the Jurassic Park movies. And we're jazzed up about watching Dominion in this summer. Can't wait.
Which is your favorite?
I think it's the first one.
Okay.
I think beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's my favorite. It's the best. I think it's the best one. It's just so good. Steven, how's it going?
Hey, Steven. I don't know which one I would say. I really love Jurassic World.
I was really surprised about how much I liked it. I don't know. I've watched it a couple times now, but this rewatch, I was surprised how much I did like it.
Yeah, I like it's one or Jurassic World. It's one of those two for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure which one. And also, the comments are talking about Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover, and they're probably not that far off. They're really it's probably coming like Blue's going to be driving Dom's car.
That's right.
And it's gonna have like a little Blue in the driver's seat.
That's
and
right.
like it's gonna squawk. It's like, but like they'll have subtitles that says it's all about family or something like that.
That's right.
No, not squawk, whatever a rapper sounds like. I don't know. Clever girls.
That's right.
They drive now.
Yeah. So that's kind of our personal what we watched this week, guys. But we did want to get to Peacemaker a little bit. Before we talk about it ourselves, I want to highlight the guys from the Vigilante 1939 who basically lived and breathed talking about Peacemaker this week. They were on with Josh Lagurn on the Super Secret and on with the Nerd Room guys talking about Peacemaker. So if you like Peacemaker talk, make sure you check out the Vigilante 1939 guys. They were talking Peacemaker all week long. Chris, we don't have to do a full-on review about the show, but maybe we just want to talk about that season finale, how big it was and how unexpectedly big that it was.
It's kind of funny because, and I know I've mentioned this before, but WandaVision was gigantic in 2021. Whether everybody liked it or not is up for debate, but it was gigantic. One of the things that helped move that along was the actors would not shut up about it. And I love them. I do. And I love the way they hyped it up. But they would say things like, I believe the exact quote from Paul Bettany was, I get to work with someone who I've always wanted to.
Yep.
Oh, spoiler alert, it's a clone of himself. And then I want to say it was Elizabeth Olsen who kind of hyped up the engineer cameo.
I thought it was what's her name, who played Monica Rambeau.
Okay, maybe it was.
I think it was.
But the
actor, or it was her. It was Elizabeth Olsen in real life, and then Monica Rambeau's character said in the show, "I can't wait for you to meet the engineer," or something like that. I think that's what it was.
When the engineer popped up, I didn't even realize that was the engineer. But that's
it was just some person. Yeah.
But anyway, so the way they hyped it up was really special. And so when they started doing it, and then of course we know how it ended. There was no cameos. It was very contained. So when this show came about and the actors started hyping the finale, I was like, hey, we've been down this road before. I'm not playing this game with y'all. I'm going to watch it anyway, but I'm not playing this game. Well, I guess they won that game because they delivered in the finale. I don't know if we're going to spoil it, but that thing in the finale is very impressive.
Let's talk full spoilers. It's been 4 days afterwards. It's everywhere online. It was everywhere online before a lot of people had the chance to watch it. So let's do that.
Okay. I liked it. The cameos were really cool. The way that they, I know they were shadowy, and some people were unhappy about that because they were shadows. But I think it added to the scene that we didn't see them all fully. I think that it was better to do that because the focus remained on Peacemaker and his group. That's kind of the way I feel about it. And also, I thought the line was hilarious and in character for these versions.
I like, we're specifically talking about Jason Momoa, Arthur Curry saying, "Fuck you, Barry," right?
Yes.
Yeah. It works because if you think about them in Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's the scene when they're fighting Superman and they're both laying on their backs on the and he points at him, right? It's just like an elevated, it's a James Gunn version of that scene.
It is.
Well, and it builds off of the whole thing about how Peacemaker is making fun of Aquaman basically throughout the series about him having relations with fish, right? So I thought it made a bunch of sense. They are in a superhero team together, but they're also friends. It's okay if they're making fun of each other, that kind of thing.
They're teammates. It's camaraderie. And it's not like we haven't seen that in other forms. You know, we've seen that in the comics and the cartoons. Excuse me. We did get some of it in Zack Snyder's Justice League, like you mentioned. And even then, like, there's the famous Joker line in the epilogue.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's crude and it's funny. Well, I think it is. But it just wasn't out of the realm of plausibility that these characters would speak that way. I mean, when Bruce Wayne meets Aquaman for the first time, he says something like, "I hear you talk to fish."
That's right.
I believe that's in the Snyder version.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think the Whedon version was something else. I don't remember, but the Snyder one, I believe that's where it came from. And so it was an out of the realm possibility, and it added to the overall series of the finale because it didn't overtake it. It just added to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I didn't think twice about the lines or anything that they really said. I think just um, the idea of them being in this Peacemaker show was something that we didn't expect really. For me, I didn't know what kind of show this was going to be. We obviously saw Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. We knew that a Peacemaker show was coming for a long time, and then we kept asking ourselves, or I kept asking myself, why is Peacemaker the one? Why of all the characters that James Gunn could have done out the gate, why is Peacemaker the one? They sold the show as like an offbeat humor kind of show. The trailers that were released were a mix of I think jokes that didn't really work, didn't land, and some that did. Some of the action scenes look cool in the trailers, but what we got in the TV show almost felt like wasn't what was sold to us, because there was more to this show than I could have imagined with especially the family stuff that happened with Peacemaker's father and his brother. Those latter halves of the season, I think it's the final 3 episodes where we start to learn what happened to Chris and his brother, and how seriously effed up his family life was. That kind of stuff I didn't expect to be coming at all. I expected it, to be a James Gunn goofy, over the top, and especially over those first couple episodes, over the top, vulgar, very funny, cool show that had a lot of. It is that 100%, but then when it gets into the more serious stuff, I think that's where the show really won for me. And then by adding in the DC World expansion, and then there's the stuff at the end with more Amanda Waller, and her daughter with Odebayo, basically outing all of Task Force X. There's more to this show than meets the eye. And going forward, it's the possibilities are endless where this can go for now, I think.
Yeah. I want to answer today's question, but before we do that, something I think Gunn does really well that people don't credit him for is that he does bring a weight to the characters he writes. Because you look at Guardians of the Galaxy and Star-Lord maybe doesn't have as much depth, but you look at someone like Rocket Raccoon. It's a talking raccoon.
Yeah.
But there's a scene, I think it's in the first one, that they go to a bar or something, and Rocket gets really serious about his life, and you buy it. You completely just buy it. And then in the second movie, that's when you do get some more depth for Star-Lord, and it works because these characters are fun and stuff, but he makes them human no matter what they actually are or what they do. Now the villains, they're cookie cutter. It is what it is. But he takes a lot of time in crafting the personalities of the hero characters, and I appreciate that with him. And that is what I expected from Peacemaker, and I got it, but I didn't expect so much of it.
Right.
And he really delivered with each character in a certain way. All the main cast, anyway.
I like how, and you mentioned the villains are cookie cutter. I like how the big villains that James Gunn has done for DC are sentimental ones.
Yeah.
When you think of Starro, by the end of the movie, you feel for him, and then the cow and the butterflies or whatever. They're not vengeful. They're not trying to obliterate the entire human race or whatever. They're trying to live, but their existence, their living, doesn't cohabitate with our living. So it's not like it's nobody's fault kind of deal.
Yeah, maybe I was just thinking of Ronan when I said cookie cutter.
Well, for sure. And the same with Chris Smith's father. He's a cookie cutter, Nazi terrible father. But the big grand villain almost feels like in the DC properties, anyways. He's got more of a sentimental, weird thing to say about a human side to these alien villains, which is really interesting.
And he feeds Goff at the end. But
exactly.
Zeddy's question is very interesting. So Nico and I from Vigilante 39, we both watched it at 2 a.m. So like right before
Crazy
3 a.m., right before 3 a.m., we were already, what do you think this means? What's happening?
Yeah.
And this is my opinion. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see in later this year, maybe next year, who knows? But
yeah.
I think them including a silhouette that's clearly supposed to be Cavill Superman means something, because there's not a Batman, there's not a Cyborg, and Gunn said he couldn't use them. So I think that means something. It maybe doesn't mean he's getting his own solo series or who knows what, but I think it means that we're just going to see him again at some point.
I think it's not a coincidence, or it's not, there's purpose to everything that, these companies do, Marvel, DC. What they show us is exactly what they want us to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, I found it very interesting that, we saw Jason, we saw Ezra. We didn't see Gal. Gal's Wonder Woman. We're going to see Gal again. That's the thing. Yeah, she's not going anywhere. I was surprised we didn't just get a silhouette of Batman, or it could have been anyone. Like, why did it could have been any core members? They could have put a freaking Green Lantern there.
That would have been cool.
But they picked these ones for a reason. They picked this group of core characters. We saw Jason, we saw Ezra, we saw what looked like, the Superman that we know. The suit that there's a picture that the stuntman, the person who is actually that person wearing the suit, it's the suit. So yeah, I think it means something. I'm excited to know what it means. I'm excited to hopefully we find out that it means something.
Maybe this year.
Maybe, who knows? But like I said, it's not a coincidence. I think these companies, they know exactly what they want to show us, and what we've seen from the stuntman who says that it's they shot something. Even the Batman one, they shot the Batman and Cyborg in that shot, and then they took them out.
So, the Cyborg one, I'm very curious to see what that was going to look like, considering it's a silhouette and he's kind of lit up. So
to be the red in the middle.
Yeah, kind of like, what was that going to look like?
Yeah, very interesting.
It is.
And even cooler that Gunn was, and it's funny, people are asking Gunn, how'd you do that? I wrote it in the script and I did it. Like, DC, like cool. Yeah, he didn't like, oh, please, can I use these characters? He's just like, I got them in the script. Let's do it. And like, he even filmed it too. They let him film it. And then they said afterwards, let's cut them out for whatever reason. I think it's great for DC. I think it's great for our fans, or anyone's fan, the fans for the show, for the Snyderverse people who want to keep believing that that it's it's going to be restored and all that kind of stuff. I think that's great for them, and it's great for us for having more Justice League, more DC characters in a show that I didn't expect there to be any world expanding.
Right,
I expected it to be very singular.
Yeah, and Ian could be right here too. It may not mean anything at all. It may not mean much, but I don't know. I just like to have that hope that it does. I love Henry Cavill, and selfishly, I like the idea of Henry Cavill on the big screen, Tyler Hoechlin on small screen. That's two Supermen for me. Makes me happy. We'll see.
I agree, 100%. That's pretty much all. I had a great time with the Peacemaker finale. And you put it up on the screen there, Chris, the little banner that says "Peacemaker, what a joke." I love that they kept playing that scene.
I did too.
I think it was a perfect, and I don't know if it was if you were the same way, but everyone on Twitter is rewatching the Suicide Squad now.
I'm going to.
I rewatched it last night, and all of the Peacemaker stuff hits 100-fold than it before from when it did watching it the first time. It's just great. It makes the movie that much better.
It adds that layer to Peacemaker that we didn't have before. Because when you watch Peacemaker, he's just a goofy character till the end of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, did I say when you watch Suicide Squad, he's a goofy character until the end of it. And then you watch Peacemaker, he's not really that goofy of a character. I mean, yes, he's dancing in his underwear again, but there's more to it. Also, James Gunn has a playlist of the music from the show. It's a great time.
80s hairband stuff. That's your jam, Chris?
Yeah. Sometimes. I like a little bit of everything, so sometimes that is my jam. That one particular song he sings it in the first episode in his underwear.
Right.
Is actually a great song, I think. I like it.
So that's what we read, what we watched this week, and a little wrap up on Peacemaker. That's it for that DC show. But coming back this week is Superman and Lois. The Olympics are over. Finally, we can get back to Superman and Lois.
Damn those Olympics.
Chris and Zeddy can get back to doing World's Finest that you can check out on the Vigilante 1939 YouTube channel. Make sure you go over there and subscribe, and you can get those guys talking about Superman and Lois when it's back this week.
I miss Zeddy and Superman and Lois.
Yeah. I miss you, Zeddy.
I want to party with you.
So our poll from last week was a delayed one. It was a Monday poll. And one thing Chris loves is James Bond. The other thing Chris loves is Batman. And he wants to know what would happen if the two were to battle it out. He also wants to know about fake accents.
Because they're fun, mate.
I don't know if this is surprising to you, surprising to me, but there was a clear winner. But in second place and in third place, a tie for second place, should say, is the accents and James Bond. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Fake accents are fun, 15.6%. James Bond, 15.6%, and Batman at 68%.
No, we could talk about Olympics. It's okay. Olympics are fine.
I was watching the Olympics for the last 2 weeks, Cookie, but if I had to choose between curling or speed skating or Superman and Lois, I will take Superman and Lois every day of the week.
I'm always envious of the skaters because I just don't know how they do it. Like, hats off to them. You guys are amazing. I can't do anything on ice. Well, except injure myself.
And the blades on the speed skating are like double the size of like a hockey skate.
I would probably fall and accidentally slit my throat with them or something. It'd be like a horrible freak accident. I'd become like a Batman villain afterward. The skater or something. Anyway.
Actually, and before we get into the poll, I just want to remind everybody in the chats right now, we still don't have a main topic. So as soon as we're done talking about this poll, we have nothing to talk about. So please, guys, in the chats right now, let us know what you guys want Chris and I to talk about as a main topic.
Or if you just have some questions.
Or if you have questions, if you want to ask us some questions, we will do a question as well. We were incredibly lazy this week and didn't think about the show until yesterday. We had nothing planned
this morning.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys want us to talk about after this poll segment. So
I'm a grabs on this one. I get dizzy.
He's 47?
Yes.
Grabs, you are not 47. I've seen you in that muscle shirt on your YouTube channel.
By the way, check out Grabs' YouTube channel if you haven't.
To see that he's no way you're 47. You're a liar.
You have to watch it now just to make sure you can confront him about that.
That's right. Confirm or deny. Grabs is 47. Chris, James Bond versus Batman. I don't know if this would even be a close fight. Do you think it would be close?
I don't know. I think it would. And the thing to remember is Bond will kill you. So that's kind of my thing. Like, that's how I gauge it. If he has to, he will take you out. Batman won't. Unless it's a movie. Because in the movie versions, he doesn't care.
Right.
Which is fine. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I would have voted for Batman, though.
So if you take away the weapons and say hand-to-hand, do you think there's a benefit between either of the two in a hand-to-hand combat?
Okay, so we're about to get technical and weird here.
Well, we got to stretch this segment out a little bit. So,
well, it's two things I won't shut up about, so we're in good hands.
Exactly.
So depending on which Bond we're talking, because like Craig's will take him on fine. But if we're talking like Roger Moore, probably not. Timothy Dalton, that guy, he'll make a gun like out of anything and shoot you with it or something. He's pretty dangerous. Sean Connery, same thing. He can handle hand-to-hand. But let's just say Craig, because since he's the most recent, I think there'll be a cool fight hand-to-hand.
So then if you go with, obviously, weapons. So if James Bond's got his PPK And
you should have just left it at that.
And, yeah, James Bond's got his pee-pee, and Batman's got his pee-pee. No, so if you're right, Batman can't kill. So if James Bond's got every weapon known to man, he's got every gadget, but Batman's got gadgets as well. So if you include the gadgets, the weapons, is there more of an but down? Q can make any kind of gadget you want. Batman's making his own gadgets. Maybe Alfred's helping him out a little bit. Where do you think the pendulum swings when weapons are introduced?
Well, Grabs might have something here to begin with. Yeah, if there's gadgets involved, I think it goes more toward Bond. Because we know shark repellent and all that stuff is fun, but James Bond is the innovator of the gadgets and stuff. It's what he does.
I don't think it's close still. I just feel like and the Batman's armor.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Bond doesn't usually have armor; he's just a dude. But still, he's not going to kill you, so you'd have to rely on Batman basically just knocking him out, which is possible.
Oh, it's for sure possible.
What? Talia might be more his speed too. That kind of fits better. I don't know. I'd like to see that happen. There should be a crossover with them. That'd be cool.
Who should there be a crossover for?
That's distracted me too. James Bond and Batman working together. That'd be fun.
That would be an interesting comic crossover.
Yeah, especially now since Batman is not even in Gotham, or maybe he's back now. I haven't read. I think I'm behind an issue.
Oh yeah, I keep meaning to ask you about that James Bond series that's come out. I remember you couldn't find it originally.
Still can't.
Really? Holy.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till it's collected and then just grab it.
So up on our Twitter account right now, guys, is a new poll. We've got a Sunday poll for science, and we want to know about some cameos that you want to see in Doctor Strange 2. There is rumored to be a ton of them. There's pictures, videos from the trailer that's lending itself to a lot of theories about who the people are in the movie. What do you guys want to see? We've got 4 options on there. There's the Tony Stark Iron Man, Superior Iron Man, played by Tom Cruise. There's Toby Spider-Man. There's Wolverine. Chris wants to see that one. And I know that one is pretty sure it's leading in the poll right now. So let us know what you guys think.
I don't want to see Wolverine.
Chris, you don't want to see Wolverine? I thought you wanted to see Logan or something. Maybe
no, I don't want to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I'd rather just see a Wolverine. But...
A Wolverine.
Yeah, but I made it because I think people want to see Jackman. That's why I made it specific in the poll. But if you guys want to see a Wolverine, you could just hit other or whatever I put. I forgot what I said, and put in whatever you want.
Yeah, let us know in the poll what you guys think of the want to see one. I like that one. Yeah.
I'd like to see Apocalypse meet Moon Knight.
That would be cool.
Let's see that. No, it wouldn't.
You don't think that'd be cool?
No, this.
Oh,
would bring mutants into the MCU. No, I don't think it would.
Well, Ian is asking a ton of questions, so we'll move on from our poll and end the show with a bunch of questions that Ian is asking us. So one of the first ones that he put up there was
because this pen wasn't being used. Just saying.
I wrote down some stuff. It's all good.
Okay, cool.
I know you didn't want to desecrate your belief sign.
No, I really
know you didn't want to. So it's a big question. It's a big question, and it's one I think we probably mentioned in one of our chats. What happens if the Batman isn't any good? I don't know if there's a lot riding on it because it's not a DCEU property, but there is the Gotham show that they're trying to make. There is the Penguin show that they're going to be trying to make, and then the rumored Zoe Kravitz Catwoman HBO Max one that I think I saw online making the rounds again today. So there's a lot riding on it in the Reeves verse sense. So what happens for you, Chris, if you walk out of that theater? I know you've got a bunch of showings that you have booked. What happens if you don't like it? What happens if the movie isn't any good?
2 things. 1, don't speak that evil into existence. 2, I'm going to have to block Ian. And we're good.
And that's it. All right, moving on.
No. So Zeddy and I have had this conversation before, and I think it's this is gonna sound weird. I don't really think there's a version of this movie where I walk out and say, "Wow, that sucked."
Right.
I think it'll be more like, I didn't love this, but it was fine, or it was okay. I don't, because based on what we've seen, I like all that. So I don't know. I haven't really thought about what if it sucks. I'll be very disappointed. I'll tell you that. And it'll be a shame because there's so much content coming to supplement it. And I've already bought things for it. I have a Lego sets and a T-shirt. I have a car.
Yeah, I keep thinking about Zeddy and all those Funkos that he's bought. He's got all the McFarlanes. People are spending a lot of money on this for sure.
We missed his comment, and this is a great idea.
That's a great one. I love that.
I think I love that.
I think you nailed it, Chris. It'd just be so upsetting. Like the amount and we talked about this when we were talking about our hype. The one where we talked about the hype, or the beast called Hype, I think it was. That was the name of the episode. How we've been building up the Batman.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah, and I think it's some of it's warranted. I think from what we've seen with the trailers, the marketing, I really like the stuff they're doing with releasing the songs, the score for the Riddler, Batman, and the Catwoman one recently. They're really building this movie up. The rumored reviews, the rumored people who have seen the movie are hyping it up like crazy. We're seeing that there's early advanced screenings on the 28th that some people are getting to go to. Friends at the Vigilante Theater 9, those guys are going to see it. There's people pretty much seeing it every day that week leading up to its actual release date. So WBDC are incredibly confident in the movie. So I think they know that they have a winner. And hopefully that it translates to us, the viewers. And if it doesn't work, if it just doesn't work for people, if it's not I don't know if I can call it a four quadrant movie because of the type of movie it seems like they're trying to make. But for the people who are going to see it, I just hope everyone likes it. I hope it can be as big as WBDC want it to be. And for the first solo Batman movie in however long it's been, there's a lot of people who have been waiting a long time for a Batman movie.
Yes.
Zeddy being one who he's been hyping himself up, hyping the Batman movie up forever, for like that 5 years, like you said, Chris. I think about people like that who I just don't want them to feel gutted in walking out of the theater and be like,
I don't want to be gutted.
Man, that wasn't any good.
Yeah, like if on the first after I walk out of the theater and I don't really like it, it will be bad. I'll be so sad. And I'd probably go see one of the extra screens I have, but probably not both. Grabs makes a good point here too, because like the Marvel movies, and I know I'm guilty of this myself, I will walk out of a Marvel movie, that was amazing, when maybe it's not, but I like it. So, but yeah, I think Grabs is onto something here too. There's a lot of people who will just, it's amazing just because it's Batman, which is fair. I mean, we all fan different ways, so
100% for sure. Another question we got in the comments from Lauren. Oh boy, that's a scary thought, Ian, if that's true. Lauren asked, what comic trade needs to be made into a movie that hasn't been yet? You got any thoughts on that one, Chris? What comic? We can expand it to a comic series, comic issue. What comic do you want to see made into a movie series or set of movies or TV show? What do you think?
The fun answer comes directly to mind that most people will guess what I'm thinking. But the real answer is the Creeper. I want to see.
You mention him all the time. You mentioned the Creeper all the time. You want that so bad.
I do. I love the Creeper, and no one else does. I think I'm the only Creeper fan or something. But he's really cool.
The only Creeper fan. I like that.
Yeah, I am the Creeper, I guess. That was weird. No, it's like Jekyll and Hyde is a superhero. What's not to love? It's cool. I want to see that.
And I'm someone who knows nothing about the Creeper or at all. So I think,
really?
Yeah, so I think that would be interesting for, it's like, everyone says they're a Moon Knight fan now. I think it'd maybe be the same kind of thing for Creeper. People will be coming out and seeing an unknown character done the right way. And, I'd be up for that. I'd be in for learning the world of whatever the Creeper is.
Well, he's Jack Ryder, the Gotham TV host, and he does some cool stuff. It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Jack Ryder, like the guy from the Arkham video games?
Yeah, that's the Creeper.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's who he is.
Oh, amazing.
He becomes the Creeper, who kind of he's like he doesn't look like a monster, but he turns into this like creature. I don't know. I'll send you some pictures later. He's cool. Okay. Yeah, that would be I'd like to see the Creeper come to screen. I can't think of an arc I want to see for any character because I'm just kind of open to whatever they want to do. But specifically, maybe something from X-Men. Like I want to see something from the Savage Run. Yeah, I'd like to see the Savage Land on screen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that would be my answer. The Creeper just as a character, but if I had to pick an arc, the Savage Land. Yeah, or Howard the Duck.
I was gonna say you didn't mention Howard the Duck
because that's the one I knew everybody was expecting.
Did you watch Lost in Comics this past Thursday?
Yeah.
I knew you would love that.
Well, I suggested Howard the Duck in the comments that night.
That's awesome!
Yeah,
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I didn't get to watch it, but I saw that some of the pictures. I think Ian was one of them that sent in a picture of Howard the Duck, and he's like a master artist. His looked really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
send that to me, Ian.
The great guys over at Lost in Comics always having fun on their shows. Chris, did you see any other questions in the comments there? I know there was that one about the Skywalker saga. Somebody asked the same question twice.
I think it was Ian who asked it one way, and then there was some follow-ups. So Ian asked us, did the Skywalker saga need the sequel trilogy? It did, but not what we got, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. What's your take on that?
I think need is an interesting word to use. I think it needed a further telling of the story. I think, like you said, Chris, just what we got wasn't the right way to do it. And I think, need the prequel trilogy. I'm okay with more and more and more and more Star Wars and more tellings of characters that we've seen before, young ones into old ones, all that kind of thing. But you have to do it the right way. And we're seeing how it works the right way with some of those characters right now. And, the Book of Boba Fett that just ended recently, seeing those characters and how they're used, Luke Skywalker specifically, and how he was not used correctly in some ways and used right in new ways. Well, that's the thing. It's going to be what works for you specifically.
Your mileage may vary.
For sure. And I thank you. I think that more Skywalker stories, more Star Wars stories, I'm totally okay with. They have to be the right ones. They just have to make sense.
What is Gamora?
Who is Gamora?
What is Gamora? Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora?
That's kind of what Lauren's comment made me think of. Are toys too expensive these days? Yes, they are. The Marvel Legends just went up in price for no reason.
Well, I will say that everything goes up in price, but do you specifically think it's toys that are just ramped up more now?
Yeah, I mean, so a Marvel, I know it's not a big, but the Marvel Legends figures were $19.99. Now they're going to be $24.99. They do come with a lot of accessories and stuff, but, for $25-ish more, you're going to get a higher end figure from SH Figure Arts. Or, you put another 30 on top, I think it is, and you might be able to get a low end Mafex. So it just kind of varies. We had some other questions. I don't think it will weaken the MCU at all because they're just another piece of it, And I think the best way to deal with it is, hey, they were busy. They didn't have time to mess with Thanos. They were fighting who knows what. They were fighting the real apocalypse, not Oscar Isaac's bullshit. Not his fault, though. Not his fault. Yes, they are the superior group. I agree with that. Oh, this is a good one. Who is the next big villain Marvel needs that isn't King the Conqueror? Do you have anyone in mind for this?
I am not a good enough or well-read enough Marvel aficionado to know what's happening with their main storyline Avengers books or anything like that, so I can't really comment. I know that Kang the Conqueror one, is that still happening right now?
We don't. Well, no, I think maybe she means for the movies.
Oh, for the movies,
right? For MCU, I believe.
I think the way to go would be introducing the X-Men into it and bringing their villains into it now. I think that would make the most sense. Mr. Sinister or whatever you want, Apocalypse.
I want Mr. Sinister, but
yeah, I know you do for sure. I think he
does nothing wrong.
Yeah, I think that'd be the way to go, and that's what would get me excited for the whatever phase 5672 that the MCU is doing. That's where I think they should go. More of the X-Men villains. I think would the X-Men villains work for the Avengers villains or Avengers heroes as well if there was a crossover type of thing?
Not exactly. They don't really have a lot of villains that bleed over. Usually, I would just say Doctor Doom would be a villain I would want to see. I think he's a whole.
That seems to be a popular one in the comments here for sure.
Yeah, I think Doctor Doom is. Yeah, I'm scrolling back down through the comments. I was up looking at all this stuff. How many more? Well, I know we got a couple more waves coming, so I'm with you on that. Oh, this is a good one. What are your hopes for Loki season 2?
I hope that I like it more than I did the first one.
I hope I like it as much as I did the first one.
There you go.
I enjoyed the first one.
I'm interested to see how it goes with the timeline things. I'm interested to see where they, how it piggybacks off of stuff that we're seeing in the movies right now, with Doctor Strange, No Way Home, that kind of thing. That's what I'm interested about with Doctor Strange 2, is about the timelines variants that was introduced in Loki. I'm interested to see how that stuff continues to build.
It took me a second to realize what Fexi meant, but now that I know, I'm all for it, by the way.
All right, then.
That's Fez and Lexi. I'm all for that. I think that was all the comments. Or the questions, I believe. Oh. What do we want for Harley season 3?
I want to see season 1.
That is a great thing to do.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what station it's on up here. I don't know. What do you watch it on?
Well, for me, it's on HBO Max. So I guess for you, it'd be Crave?
It's not on Crave. It's under a different licensing. I think it was under one of the Cartoon Networks or Adult Swim.
Oh, really?
Or something something weird. I don't know what it's on. It's not something that I can watch on the 6 million stupid streaming services that I have already. It's not in any of those.
If you get the chance, check it out. It's really good. All I want to see is just I just want more of the same, really. Just give me more of what worked.
That's all I've heard is how great it is. And Lauren loves it,
good.
Especially with the Kiss Bang Kill Tour comic series that she really, really loved from this past year. How it was just as good, or how it built off of that as well.
Did you think we needed the first 4 episodes of Boba Fett?
Yeah, because if they could have made a Disney Plus movie that was just the last 2 episodes, which would have been interesting. I wish that the first 4 episode of Boba Fett mattered more by the end of the series.
That works.
I wish that Tusken Raider stuff mattered. I wished him crawling out of that Sarlacc pit, being the badass Boba Fett that we saw, mattered, because by the end of it, he wasn't any of those things. He wasn't the badass Boba Fett, and the Tusken Raider scenes didn't matter. So
he was just a dude in his underwear in the back to tank.
That's right. Sharon is back to tank too. He's like germs, man. Germs.
Yeah, don't they know? Come on. Which 80s or 90s country has the best intro? I want to say the real Ghostbusters, but I'm also thinking He-Man.
I like Bobby's World. You like Bobby's World with Howie Mandel? He did the voices for.
Oh yeah, that was
like all the characters, and little Bobby's riding his little plastic trike all over the place.
Oh, you know what? X-Men. I forgot. I read it. And
sure.
I didn't. Or Batman animated series. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of them. I don't know. That was a good question. Yeah. I got to think on that one.
The first one I thought of was just Bobby's World. Him driving that little plastic tricycle all the way around.
My mind went Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. Uh-huh. Then you said Bobby's World. I said, wait, X-Men, Batman, Thundercats. Ian mentioned Thunder. I love Thundercats. X-Men gets second. Fair. Bobby's World. Okay, so I've seen people talk about this mask cartoon. I don't know what it is, so I have to look into this.
Like Jim Carrey mask, like the mask?
No, that's what I thought too, because I was talking about the mask toys recently. And everybody thought I meant this show. I was like, no, I don't know what this is. So I have to look into it.
All right.
Oh, G.I. Joe, that's a good one too. G.I. Joe had a cool opening.
Gotta go G.I. Joe.
Let's go, Joe.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for the comments, questions that helped us get through the last little half of our show. And, we always love to hear the comments, the questions that you guys have during our shows. We love when you guys come on early. 10 minutes before our show started today, there was already somebody in the chats. We would really love it if you liked this video and make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Before we get out on it here, Chris, make sure you hit us up with some plugs, man. Let us know where we can see you this week and what's going on with you this week, man.
Well, first, before we get to plugs, so next week we have a guest coming.
Lauren, we do.
I know, right? I think I told you this morning too. I don't remember. Did I?
It's all a haze now, man.
Okay, yeah. It's been a week. So next week Lauren is gonna be joining us. So that's gonna be fun.
And
yes, that's gonna be a good time. And then next week, she also reminded me the new Ghost Rider book from Benjamin Percy is coming out.
Ooh,
really excited to see that. I'm very excited for that. I think that's it for next week as far as what I'm looking forward to. I can't think of anything. There's another episode. There's an issue of X Lives or Deaths of Wolverine. I don't know which is which anymore.
Are you getting sidetracked? Are you getting lost with it now?
No. I just don't remember which is which sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Deaths next week. So I'm excited for that. And that's my week I'm looking forward to. You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. But as always, I prefer you guys follow the YouTube channel and subscribe to us here. I've been messed up. Anyway, you can also follow us on Twitter at G of the Geeks.
So like Chris said, we've got Lauren coming on next week, and we're also going to be dropping one of our first audio-only podcasts in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing a review episode of The Batman with the Vigilante 1939 boys. So look for that the week after The Batman comes out, so everyone has time to watch it. Spoilers, all that kind of stuff. We also have some stuff later planned for later on in the month of March, but we'll wait for the closer to the date before we start really teasing that. And as Chris said, make sure you follow us on Twitter at G of the Geeks. But as he also said, the YouTube channel is just as important, so make sure you are subscribed. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your mother, tell your father. They want to be subscribed to our YouTube channel too.
That's what I meant to say.
That's right.
But it just came out completely wrong.
That's right. So I want to say thank you to everyone in the chats. Lauren, Juan, Eric, Zeddy, Philip Barker was in here for a minute or two. Ian, DC Patrol and Cindy, of course. DC Patrol was the very first comment on the show today. So I want to give them a honorary high five that we will also be giving lots of times. Chris and I have plans for more of those honorary high fives. Mm-hmm. Cookie Monster in the comments and everyone else who joined and watched along with us. So thanks so much, guys. As always, in saying all that, for Chris Evans, I'm Emmett. We gather on Sundays.